registry, you must have this file in it. Now this is a single JavaScript file, has all the data in as a JSON notation, and all this information are usually split into two types of metadata called the identifier and the functional. The identifier metadata are usually things that describe your project. For example, like the name of the project, the version number, the author, the date, and so on. The functional metadata are usually things that provides instructions for NPM to process the project. Things like a script that tells NPM how to start the program, where to start the program, which script to run, or what type of dependencies, aka packages to install, and so forth. Now this file has a lot of those fields in there, but two most important fields that are required are the name and version. So the npm packages, the package.json file is not complete without these two fields. So let's go and take a look and see what this file really looks like in npm in Node.js application. Alright, so here in Visual Studio Code, I don't like the name test here. I should have named it different earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and modify this a little bit, and so we'll make things a little bit more meaningful. So what I'm going to do is right click in here and go to Review, Explore in Explorer. So it opens this window here. Okay, I'm going to do some shuffling out here, so that means I need to close my application. So I'm going to go and do that now. Okay, so I'm going to create a new folder here. You can do right click here, just go and create a new directory, a new folder. I'm going to call this the mean stack. That's the main project folder, I guess, or we call that the workspace, if you will. I'm going to drag this test folder and put it inside it. I'm going to go inside there, and then now I'm going to rename this to something more meaningful. Maybe just call this demo. Okay, and then I'm going to create two more folders. One is, I'll call this the back end for our Express and Node.js applications, and then the front end where we'll be installing and running Angular in the back, in the front. Okay, so now I'm going to go to this URL up here and just highlight that and just type in the command cmd on a PC, or if you're on a Mac, you just basically navigate to this location and open this mean stack folder in the Visual Studio Code, basically. So if we go here, type in cmd, and what it does is that it just basically opens the command prompt, and you know, it's kind of small and make it kind of basic. You can see here. All it does is basically just get me to this location in the mean stack folder, and that's what I want, right? So for dir, I have the three folders here created. So you want to open this in Visual Studio Code. So from here, you just type in the word code space dot, and by default, Visual Studio should already have this coded in there as a shortcut, so you can hit enter, and that should load Visual Studio Code back again. Now, if you see in the left column here, again, if you don't see this, just open and click this two icons up here. You see that now we are in the mean stack folder. Inside the folder, we have those three folders created here, and so the demo is the middle one here, and it has the test that we tested earlier on. Okay, so any demo that we do in this course will be done inside the demo folder here. Right, so now I'm going to go to the terminal, press Control backtick, or you can just right click on demo here, and then just right click and then go to open the terminal. Either way is fine. Just make sure you're inside the terminal and then go to the demo directory. So there should be only just the index.js file. Okay, so to create the package.json file, you can create it manually if you want, but usually you let npm take care of it for you, and that's what we love npm, right? So to do that, I'm going to go and init or initialize this folder or this package called demo to be a npm package or node package. So I'm just basically issue the command npm init. Now init here, if you hit enter now, it's going to ask you some questions about your project. These again are the metadata. The name of the package is called demo. I can keep that as default. If you want to keep it differently, you can rename it now, or afterwards, once it's all generated, you can still go back and rename it if you want. So just hit enter, accept the default number information here. The description, you can put something there, just a demo package. And then the entry point will be the index.js. That's the main entry point to this application, for example. And then the test command, we don't need any testing here. We're not doing any get here. Keywords, if you want to put what this package is about, put some keywords here. The author will be just your name. And then the license, just accept the default and just say yes. Okay, so we're done. Now you look at inside your directory here, you see that we have the package.json file. It's also up here in the left panel. You click on that, and now here you see some information, the same information we just entered, right? The demo here. And so now you can go back in and change anything you want to do with this package, okay? So these are the two fields that are required, the name and version number. The rest are completely optional, but usually, again, you keep them. Okay, so now it has some very minimal information about this project. And so when you install new packages or remove packages, this file will be automatically managed by NPM. Okay, it's going to update this automatically for you. And so now it has one script. It says scripts here, and it has a test property that will echo this statement to the console, basically. You can actually run and test this, but I mean, it's going to probably generate some error, but you can still run it through NPM. Okay, so if I go here and if I clear my console, if I type in npm test, okay, you see that it actually runs, it goes in here, it runs the test and echo these statements down here. This is the echo statement you see down here. Okay, so again, those will be like the functional metadata that provides instructions for npm to run. Okay, so see if I am start. And so usually, again, if you click start, it doesn't work yet because we haven't created a project yet. That's another is a very popular script that will run your project later on when we install more packages. Now, one more thing I want to do is, as you can see, there's nothing here. I'm going to do a installation. I'm going to install a very simple package. Well, not that simple, but install one. And then what I'm going to install is you can see what's inside, what's happening inside your package.json file. Okay, so I'm going to install npm install a very popular preprocessor, a template processor called Pug. Okay, usually previously it's called Jade, but it's popularly known as Pug. If I hit enter, okay, what I do is going to go into the registry, the npm registry, and fetch the latest version of Pug and install to my project called demo. Okay. And then when this happens, you see this information here. It says added 63 packages, and there are this many contributors for that package. Okay, so far so good. And then now you see that package.json file has been updated. It adds the dependency property with the package called Pug with the version number 2.0.4. This is the latest version up to today. And then now in the folder, you can see that there is a node_modules folder added. If you expand that folder, you see there's a ton of files in there as well. All of these are required because they're needed to make this Pug and many other dependencies to work. Right? So all the packages that you download and install will be automatically installed inside this node modules folder. Okay, and one new file you see here is called the package.lock.json. If you open the file, it has something similar, except you have more stuff in it. Like, I'm going to close this. You see here the name of my package, the name that we had earlier. And then you have some dependencies here. Okay, the dependencies start from here. If you track this down, it's really from line 6. You see, if you ever close it, you see line 6 all the way down to line 466. All of these are dependencies, which means most of all of these are inside the node modules. Okay. Maybe not everything there, but usually a lot of those are in here. So if you go down here, you see a lot of information, a lot of packages that are packed together inside this lock.json file. Okay, this is kind of similar to the package file. Okay, and this is a slight difference between the two. This lock here is a file that is used for like source control. It's also kind of make sure that your dependencies are properly installed. If you make any changes to the package.json file, usually this will also be automatically updated by npm. So you don't want to go in here and manually change these. Okay, I will leave it as is, just don't touch it. And then just, if you need to modify something, you can do it in the package.json file But again, usually you will probably don't do that either. Everything will be managed automatically by npm. Okay, so that is the package file. Go back to the terminal, and then if I clear my console again, now if I want to uninstall again, so just type in npm uninstall pug, and then it should remove everything out of your package.json file and also from the Node module. So if I look at this, you can see the dependency is now empty. The package lock is also empty now, just contains some relevant information about this package called demo. If I open my Nodes module folder, as you can see, it's also kind of empty. Has a few things in here, but you don't really need these as well. Okay, so that is the purpose of the package.json file. It manages all your dependencies, mainly about dependencies, and later on you'll see some scripts in here to run your application. Now that you know about package.json file, in the next video we'll take a close look at the Node.js event loop and see what's really happening inside there.